Rascon. Thank you so much for joining me for this practice. Let's begin in a toe squat position. So come onto your knees, tuck your toes under behind you, and bring your weight to sit back onto your heels. You might then bring one hand to your chest, another to your upper abdomen, and allow your eyes to close or soften your gaze. Take the awareness into the balls of the feet. Notice the sensations that you feel. Follow that awareness up to your heels and squeeze the heels in towards one another. Take the awareness to your sit bones and balance out your weight between the left and right hemispheres of the body. Then root down evenly through both sit bones and grow tall through the spine, extending the crown of the head up to the ceiling. Stack your shoulders over your hips and your ears over your shoulders. And notice the length of your spine now. With every inhalation, imagine that you're pulling up energy, or air, or prana from the floor. And with every exhale, allow that energy to dial down, rooting you more deeply into your foundation. We'll take about 3 to 5 breath cycles here. Next time that you exhale, release both hands down to the mat in front of you and untuck your toes. You might tap out the tops of your feet on the mat. Give your toes a little wiggle. We're then going to send the left leg out to the left with the toes pointed forward or slightly out to the side. Then rise up onto your right knee. As you inhale, sweep the arms up. And as you exhale, hinge towards your leg. Good, inhale to lift. Exhale to hinge. We've got 3 more. Try to move laterally without losing the alignment of your ears, shoulders, and hips. Last one. And as you exhale, release the left hand down to the left leg. Take a few passive breaths here. Good. Next time that you exhale, release your right hand down to the mat and send your left bicep near your left ear. Reach all the way from the tips of your fingers down to your left ankle. Press it down even more firmly. Take a few breaths. And the next time that you exhale, walk both of your hands in front of your right knee. And we're going to take the upper body into downward facing dog while maintaining the lower body in Garabhasana or gate pose. So you might walk your arms out in front of you, or lower your torso in and out. Try to keep your pelvis mostly neutral. Have a few breath cycles here. Last breath cycle. Inhale to walk your arms in, draw your left leg in, and change sides. Good. As you inhale, we build ourselves up. And as we exhale, we hinge towards the straight leg. We have 4 more. Press down through the pinky edge of your extended foot for balance. Good. If you're moving at my pace, we have 2 more. Passive stretches next. Release your right hand down to your right leg and draw your hips slightly towards your left as you reach the fingertips towards the right. We'll take a few cycles of breath here as well. Next time that you exhale, release the left hand down to the mat just under your left shoulder and bring your right bicep by your right ear. Encourage the hips forward in line with the shoulders and your ears, and allow your breath to really expand through the right side of the rib cage. Steady and even. We have about 2 or 3 more cycles of breath here. Then we use that next exhalation to release the hands down in front of your left knee. And you might walk your straight arms forward or find any way to support the upper body that serves you. Level out the hips by pressing firmly into your left knee and the pinky edge of your right foot. Last breath here. Inhale to lift your torso back into tabletop position, and exhale to bring your leg in. Good. We can face the short edge of your mat. Go ahead and tuck those toes under again, and give yourself about 3 to 5 downward facing dogs. Today's stuff. 3 to 5 cow and cat fluctuation. So as you inhale, lift your tailbone and your sternum. And then as you exhale, round the back and drop your head. Good. Take a few more just like that. Moving faster or slower than I'm moving. Just finding the movement pattern that feels best for your spine. Next time you find yourself coming into an exhalation, we'll take a neutral position for the spine, and then we'll draw our knees out a little bit wider than the hips. Let your big toes touch behind you, and then sit back onto your sit bones and your heels. We'll crawl the straight arms forward and lower the forehead to the mat for child's pose. Every exhalation brings your chest a little bit closer to the mat. Next time that you inhale, you're going to lift your torso and stack your shoulders over your wrist without changing the position of your legs. Let your hips drop down towards the mat as you lift your chest up. Take a big breath in. And then as you exhale, sink back into child's pose. Inhale, find your tabletop variation. Exhale to child's. Take a few more passes here, moving a little faster or slower than me if you'd like. You're also welcome to lift your feet and your ankles as you shift into that tabletop variation, bringing yourself into a little mini cobra. We'll take about 5 to 7 more passes here. Moving with your breath. Allowing yourself to feel the spine as it moves with you. Good. If you're flowing at my pace, we have 2 more. For this last one, when you draw yourself forward, stacking your shoulders over your wrist, pause, drop your hips towards your wrist, lift the center of the chest towards the ceiling, and squeeze your heels in a little more for 3, 2, 1. Allow the tops of the feet to touch the floor if you've lifted them. Parallel the shins and the ankles. Then tuck your toes under for downward facing dog, lifting your hips up and back. Pedal out as much as you'd like in the ankles and the knees. Give yourself about 2 or 3 breaths here for some free movement. We're all going to meet up in a downward facing dog position with our feet about hip distance apart, heels anchoring down towards the mat, knees straight or straight-ish, and then taking your hips high up towards the ceiling. Draw your chest a little bit closer to the thighs, and then draw the rib cage in. Give yourself a few breaths in downward facing dog as a pose, using every inhalation to draw the center of your head towards your thumbs for a nice long spine. And every exhalation to press your chest a little closer to the thighs. Next time that you feel an inhalation coming, press down through your right foot and lift your left leg high into the air. Lift your left inner thigh a little bit higher than the outer thigh. 1 breath. Then pull your knee towards your nose as you step your foot forward between the hands. We'll lower the back knee down to the mat. Inhale, find your low lunge. Exhale to straighten your front leg and find half Hanumanasana. Inhale, low lunge. Exhale, half splits. This is another place where you can customize this practice, moving faster, moving slower, really finding what suits you. But most importantly, keeping track of your breath. If you're moving at my pace, we have about 4 more. 3. 2. Last one. When you find that half Hanumanasana position, you're going to release your hands down to the floor to frame your front foot. Maybe you use blocks under your hands to give you a little bit more lift. Draw your tailbone back behind you. Send your navel forward and then bow forward any amount, maintaining 0 bend in your left knee if possible, and flexing strongly through the left ankle and toes. Use your next exhalation to press the ball of the foot and the toes down into the mat. A few breaths here, stretching the front of the ankle and the top of the foot. Then we're going to transition into downward facing dog in kind of a weird way. So tuck your back toes under, come up onto your fingertips or bring your blocks to the highest setting, and then press into your back foot to straighten your back knee. Variation of pyramid pose. Press your back heel down. Get in a little extra calf stretch while we're here. A few breaths. Next time that you feel an exhalation, you're going to lift your hips just a smidgen higher and slide your left foot back to downward facing dog. 3 to 5 breaths here in movement or stillness, yogi's choice. This is a great place for vinyasa if you're looking for a lot of extra fire. We'll all meet up in downward facing dog, shifting the weight into our left foot as we lift the right leg up high. Lift the right inner thigh and spiral the right pinky toe down towards the mat. Take 1 full breath here, and then exhale to draw the right knee forward and place your right foot on the floor between your hands or your blocks. Drop down the back knee and untuck the back toes. Inhale to Anjaneyasana, Low lunge. Exhale, half Hanumanasana. Find the balance. We took 8 here together at my pace. Allow yourself to flow in accordance with your own breath. Good. Every time you find that lunge, press the back foot down and drop your hips towards your front heel. Then as you shift your weight back, really stick that tailbone out behind you as you're straightening the front leg. If you're moving at my pace, we have 3 more. Lifting for 3. Lifting for 2. Lifting for 1. Next time that you plant your hands down on the mat for your half Hanumanasana, just check and make sure that your right hip is drawn back and your left hip is drawn forward so that they're both in line with each other. Continue to keep a long spine as you curl your toes up towards the ceiling and flex strongly through the right ankle. A few cycles of breath here. Good. Keep your hands and your torso where they are. Press the ball of the foot and the toes down. Keep drawing back through the right hip if it slipped forward. A few cycles of breath here. All right, my friends, this is our fun transition. So tuck your back toes under, press into the ball of your back foot and lift your hips up high. You're then going to square off the hips again if they've shifted, and give yourself a few breaths in the pyramid variation. Straighten both knees to your capacity, and know that you can always elevate the blocks to give you a little bit more space. Last breath here. Then press into your hands and your back foot. Arch your back like you're coming into cat pose, and slide that front foot towards the back of your mat, finding your downward facing dog. From here, go ahead and drop your knees down onto the mat, and we'll make our way into your Dandasana. Slip your right knee behind your left knee, and then spread your ankles apart. Here, you can sit down in between the ankles, or find your block, place that in between the ankles and sit on your block. Squeeze the thighs towards one another and press the kinky edges of your feet down into the floor. As you inhale, lift up tall through your spine. And then as you exhale, draw your chest forward towards your top knee. Take a few breath cycles here. Inhale to lift your torso upright. Keep your legs where they are. You're going to lift your right arm up. And then drop your right hand towards your neck or the base of the skull. Use the opposite hand to pull your elbow towards center, or take the Gomukhasana bind. Give yourself a few breath cycles here. Last breath. Then you'll exhale to release your hands to the mat in front of your knees and rock forward, or swing both of your legs towards one side and rock forward. Good. From here, take your left knee and position it behind the right knee. Spread the ankles, sit back onto the floor or your block. Squeeze the thighs in as you press the blade edges of your feet down, and then take your chest forward in and out. A few cycles of breath here. Good. Inhale to lift the torso up, keeping your legs where they are. And find the bind that you took the first time. Just mirror reflecting with your left arm lifted. We'll have a few breath cycles here. Keep lifting the crown of your head up and pressing your head back into your upper arms. Keep that spine long and juicy. Good. With that next exhalation, we're going to make our way back into a tabletop position. And this time, as you find your tabletop, walk your knees back a little bit so that you can come down onto your abdomen. Good. Go ahead and stack your palms, letting your forehead rest down onto the backs of your hands. I'm going to keep my head lifted just for my mic. Lift your right leg up and bend your right knee. Maintain the bend in your right knee as you guide your toes towards the left side of the mat. Press both elbows down and breathe deeply into your rib cage, letting it expand in all directions. Use an exhalation to return to center. Inhale to lift and bend your left leg, and exhale to glide over to the other side. Have a few breath cycles here. Last breath cycle here. And then release. Allow yourself to flip over onto your back, bringing one hand to the center of your chest and the other hand to your upper abdomen. Notice if there's anywhere in the body that still feels like it needs your attention. Is there any movement that comes to mind that might feel really, really good in your body? Just take a moment to observe and listen to the body and the heart. And then give yourself the next 7 to 10 breath cycles to respond. So if you're new to the practice and free movement is a little scary, you can do what I'm doing, which is a happy baby, holding on to the blade edges of your feet and pulling your knees down towards your armpits. Any other movement, though, is welcome, whether it has a yoga name or not. Take a few breaths here. Begin to bring yourself into your shape for Shavasana, possibly on your back with your legs extended, your heels hip distance apart, and your hands resting on either side of your hips with your palms facing up. Draw the shoulder blades together down onto the mat so that the blades of your shoulders are completely flat, allowing your chest to open. Find a neutral position for your neck and your chin, and then let all of the physical awareness go. Let go of the effort. Let go of the alignment cues. And just let yourself be for the next 3 to 5 minutes. Shavasana.